Are you ready for what could be the worst winter storm in 12 years? Because right now, as you are watching this, a massive weather system is forming that will impact over 100 million Americans in the next 72 hours. And here is the shocking part that nobody is talking about. This isn't just one storm. This is a triple threat that meteorologists are calling unprecedented. In the next 4 minutes, I am going to show you exactly which states will be hit hardest, when the storm will arrive in your area, and the one thing you must do in the next 6 hours that could save your life. But first, let me show you something that will make your jaw drop. Over the past 24 hours, 17 states have already declared states of emergency. 17. And that number is expected to double by tomorrow morning. We talking about ice accumulations that haven't been seen since 1994. We talking about snowfall totals that could break records that have stood for 30 years. And we talking about temperatures so cold that even if you don't lose power, going outside could be dangerous. Now I know what you're thinking. You've heard weather warnings before. You've stocked up on bread and milk only to see the storm fizzle out. But this is different, and I am going to prove it to you with data from 3 different weather models that all agree on one thing. This is going to be bad. Here is your reward for watching the first 30 seconds. By the end of this video, you'll have a personalized forecast for your exact location. You'll know the exact hour the storm hits your area. You'll know whether you are in the ice zone, the heavy snow zone, or the dangerous transition zone where you could get both. And you'll get a downloadable preparation checklist that emergency management agencies are using right now. But here is what I need you to do right now. Drop a comment below telling me what city and state you are in. Just type it out. Dallas, Texas, Memphis, Tennessee, Boston, Massachusetts, whatever your location is. Why? Because at minute 5 of this video, I am going to read out specific forecasts for 30 major states, and I want to make sure yours is included. Plus, if enough people from your area comment, I'll create a dedicated update video just for your region tomorrow. Okay, let's dive into what's happening. Right now, at this very moment, there's a weather system forming over the southern plains that's about to explode into something meteorologists are calling a bomb cyclone. What does that mean? It means the atmospheric pressure is going to drop so fast that the storm will intensify at a rate that's frankly terrifying. Here's the timeline. Tomorrow, Friday, January 23rd, the storm begins in Oklahoma and Texas. By Friday evening, we were already seeing significant ice accumulation in Dallas. By Saturday morning at 7 a.m., Nashville and Memphis are getting hit hard. By Saturday evening, Louisville and Cincinnati are buried in snow. By Sunday afternoon, Washington, D.C. and New York City are in whiteout conditions. And by Monday morning, Boston is dealing with what could be their biggest snowstorm in 5 years. But that timeline doesn't tell the whole story. Let me break down what's really going to happen hour by hour in a way that will help you understand the danger. Starting tomorrow afternoon around 4 p.m., people in Oklahoma City are going to notice something strange. The rain that's been falling will start to feel heavier, thicker. That's because it's transitioning to freezing rain. Within 2 hours by 6 p.m., roads in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex will become skating rinks. I am not exaggerating. We expecting ice accumulation rates of 1/4 inch per hour during peak intensity. Do you know what that means? It means that in the time it takes you to drive home from work, your car could literally get frozen to the road. Now here is something that's going to shock you. The European weather model, which has been the most accurate predictor for winter storms over the past 5 years, is showing ice accumulation totals that seem impossible. We are talking about 3/4 of an inch to 1 full inch of ice in parts of Arkansas, Mississippi, and Tennessee. 1 inch of ice. To put that in perspective, 1/4 inch of ice can snap tree branches. 1/2 inch can bring down power lines. 1 inch? That's catastrophic. And it gets worse. After the ice storm passes through the south, the temperatures behind it are going to plummet. We are not talking about normal winter cold. We were talking about 0 degrees Fahrenheit in areas that usually see 20s and 30s. We talking about wind chills of minus 15 degrees. And here is the nightmare scenario. If you lose power because of ice on the lines and you stuck in a house with no heat in 0-degree weather for 5 days or more, that is a life-threatening situation. Let me give you a real-world example of why this matters. In 1994, there was an ice storm in the south that left some people without power for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Families had to abandon their homes and go to emergency shelters. Elderly residents suffered from hypothermia even inside their own houses, and that storm had less ice accumulation than what we were expecting this time. But wait, there is more. Remember I said this was a triple threat? Here is threat number 2, the northern zone. While the South is dealing with ice, states like Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia are going to get buried in snow. And I mean buried. The models are showing snowfall totals of 12 to 18 inches across a corridor that stretches from St. Louis to Cincinnati to Columbus, 18 inches of snow in 12 hours. That S snow falling at a rate of 1.5 inches per hour. That S faster than snowplows can clear it. That means even main highways will become impassable. That means ambulances can get to emergencies. That means if you have a medical crisis, you might be on your own. And here is a detail that most weather forecasters aren't mentioning. This snow is going to be heavy and wet. Why does that matter? Because wet snow weighs more. A cubic foot of dry, fluffy snow weighs about 7 pounds. A cubic foot of wet snow can weigh 20 pounds. That extra weight is what collapses roofs. That's what breaks tree limbs that then fall on cars and houses and power lines. Now let's talk about threat number 3, the coastal bomb. By Sunday afternoon, this storm system is going to strengthen off the Atlantic coast and slam into the I-95 corridor with ferocious intensity. We are talking about New York City potentially getting 20 inches of snow. 20 inches. Philadelphia could see 19 inches. Baltimore and Washington, D.C. could see 15 inches. Boston might get 22 inches. Do you know the last time New York City got 20 inches of snow in a single storm? It's been years. The city has fewer snowplows now than it did back then. The subway system isn't built to handle this kind of snow load. And here is something that should worry every single person in the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. This storm is hitting on a Sunday. That means Monday morning, when everyone needs to go to work, to school, to medical appointments, the roads are going to be a disaster. But here's where it gets really interesting. There is a wild card in this forecast that could make everything better or everything worse. It's called warm air advection, and it's happening in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. What does that mean in English? It means there's a layer of warm air about 5,000 feet up that's going to move over the cold air at the surface. When you have freezing temperatures at ground level and warm air aloft, precipitation that starts as snow can melt in that warm layer, then refreeze when it hits the cold ground. That's how you get freezing rain and sleet instead of snow. And the exact placement of that warm layer is what determines who gets ice and who gets snow. Right now, the models are disagreeing about exactly where that warm layer will set up. The European model says one thing, the American GFS model says something slightly different. The Canadian model has a third opinion, and the spread between these models is the difference between Philadelphia getting 6 inches of snow or 16 inches of snow. It's the difference between Nashville getting 8 inches or 2 inches. This uncertainty is why I need you to comment your location below. Because as we get closer to the storm, as we get more data, these forecasts are going to shift. And I'll be doing live updates every 6 hours showing exactly how the forecast has changed for your specific city. All right, we at the 5-minute mark. I promised you specific forecasts for 30 states. Let's do this rapid fire. If I don't mention your state, drop a comment and I'll reply with your forecast. Texas. Dallas-Fort Worth, you're looking at 2 to 3 inches of snow that will be covered by ice. Ice accumulation of 1/3 to 1/2 inch. Roads will be impassable from Friday evening through Sunday morning. Temperature Saturday night, 15 degrees. Austin and San Antonio, you will mostly get freezing rain with minimal snow. Ice accumulation 1/4 inch. Houston, you dodge the worst, but you will see temperatures in the mid-20s with possible sleet. Oklahoma City, this is ground zero. 6 to 9 inches of snow starting Friday afternoon, then transitioning to heavy ice Friday night. Ice accumulation up to 3/4 of an inch. Tulsa, similar story, but slightly less ice. 7 inches snow, 1/2 inch ice. Temperature low. Saturday night, 8 degrees Fahrenheit in Kansas. Wichita, you are in the heavy snow zone. 8 to 12 inches expected Friday night into Saturday. Wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour, creating blizzard conditions. Kansas City, 10 to 14 inches of snow. This will be the worst storm you have had in 8 years. Arkansas. Little Rock, this is going to be rough. Starting as snow Friday night, 4 inches possible, then changing to ice Saturday. Ice accumulation 3/4 to 1 inch. Power outages expected to last 5 to 7 days. Jonesboro, 7 inches of snow before changing to ice. Bentonville, you are in the sweet spot for heavy snow, 10 to 13 inches with minimal ice. Missouri. St. Louis, 7 to 9 inches of snow Saturday. Heavy snow rates of 1 inch per hour from noon to 6 p.m. Springfield, similar totals. Cape Girardeau, you are in the transition zone, less snow but more ice. Louisiana. Northern Louisiana, including Monroe and Shreveport, this is your worst-case scenario. Ice accumulation over 3/4 of an inch. Temperatures dropping to near zero Sunday night. If you haven't already, leave now and go stay with family farther south. This is not a joke. Mississippi. Northern Mississippi from Tupelo to Greenville, same story as northern Louisiana. Ice accumulation 3/4 to 1 inch. This will be worse than 1994. Jackson, ice accumulation ½ inch with temperatures near 10 degrees Sunday night. Biloxi and Gulf Coast, you are safe from the storm, but temperatures will still drop to the 20s. Tennessee. Memphis, 4 inches of snow Saturday morning, changing to heavy ice by afternoon. Ice accumulation over ½ inch. Nashville. This forecast has shifted in the last 6 hours. Previous forecasts showed 6 to 8 inches of snow, but the warm nose is stronger than expected. Now looking at 2 to 4 inches with significant ice mixing in. Knoxville and Chattanooga, mostly ice with minimal snow. Eastern Tennessee mountains, ice accumulation up to 1 inch in higher elevations. Kentucky, Louisville, this is your big one. 10 to 14 inches of snow Saturday into Sunday. Lexington, 12 to 16 inches possible. This is generational snowfall for you. Bowling Green, 8 to 11 inches. Eastern Kentucky, including Pikeville and Somerset, transition zone with 4 to 6 inches snow and ice mixing in. Indiana, Indianapolis, 8 to 12 inches of snow Saturday night into Sunday. Evansville, you are in the bullseye. 11 to 15 inches possible with locally higher amounts. Fort Wayne, 7 to 10 inches Sunday, Illinois. Chicago, you are on the northern edge. 3 to 6 inches Sunday. Springfield, 6 to 9 inches Saturday night. Southern Illinois, including Carbondale, heavy snow changing to ice, similar to southern Missouri. Ohio, Cincinnati, 12 to 16 inches of snow Saturday night into Sunday. This will be in the top 5 snowstorms you've ever experienced. Columbus, 10 to 14 inches Sunday. Cleveland, 8 to 12 inches Sunday into Monday. Dayton and Wheeling, 14 to 18 inches possible. This is the jackpot zone. West Virginia, Charleston and Huntington, 8 to 12 inches of snow with ice mixing in. Higher elevations could see 15 inches. Michigan, Detroit, 6 to 10 inches Sunday night into Monday. Grand Rapids, similar totals. Upper Peninsula, you will get clipped with 4 to 6 inches. Wisconsin, Milwaukee, 4 to 8 inches Sunday. Madison, similar. You're on the northern fringe of the main storm. Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, 10 to 14 inches Sunday. Harrisburg, 12 to 16 inches Sunday. Scranton, 15 to 19 inches. Philadelphia, this is the wild card. Right now showing 19 inches, but there's a possibility of warm air cutting totals. Range 10 to 20 inches. Erie, 8 to 12 inches. New York, Buffalo, you'll get lake effect after the main storm, 6 to 10 inches from the system plus additional lake effect. Rochester and Syracuse, 8 to 12 inches. Albany, 12 to 16 inches. New York City, this is looking like a monster. Current forecast, 18 to 22 inches Sunday into Monday. This would be your biggest snowstorm since 2016. But watch for updates because warm air could cut this in half. New Jersey, northern New Jersey, including Newark and Trenton, 17 to 21 inches. Central Jersey, 15 to 19 inches. Southern Jersey, 12 to 16 inches with some mixing possible. Maryland, Baltimore, 14 to 18 inches Sunday. This will shut down the city. Ocean City and Eastern Shore, 10 to 14 inches with coastal flooding possible. Delaware, Wilmington and Dover, 14 to 18 inches. Coastal areas, 13 to 17 inches. Washington, D.C., current forecast 15 to 19 inches starting Sunday morning. Heavy snow rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour Sunday afternoon. There is a possibility of a changeover to sleet briefly, which would cut totals, but right now, pure snow is the main forecast. Virginia, Northern Virginia, including Alexandria and Arlington, same as D.C., 15 to 19 inches. Richmond, you are on the rain-snow line. Could be 8 inches, could be 3 inches with ice. Forecast confidence is low for your area. Western Virginia mountains, heavy snow with 15 to 20 inches possible. Roanoke, 6 to 10 inches. Norfolk and Virginia Beach, this is interesting. You'll start as snow, 6 to 8 inches possible, then change to ice as cold air damming sets up east of the mountains. Ice accumulation ½ inch or more. North Carolina, Charlotte, mostly rain with temperatures staying above freezing. Raleigh and Durham, starting as rain Saturday night, changing to snow Sunday with 4 to 8 inches possible, then ending as ice. Ice accumulation quarter to half inch. Winston-Salem and Greensboro, 6 to 10 inches snow Sunday with ice before and after. Mountains of North Carolina, heavy ice. Ice accumulation 3/4 to 1 inch in elevations above 2,000 feet. Asheville, 8 to 12 inches of snow Saturday night, then ice Sunday. Outer Banks, mostly rain, but cold air could bring some snow Sunday night. South Carolina. Greenville and Spartanburg, ice is your main threat. Starting as snow Saturday night, 2 to 4 inches possible, then changing to freezing rain. Ice accumulation 1/2 to 3/4 inch. Columbia, mostly rain with brief period of snow and ice mixing in. Charleston, rain with temperatures in the 40s. You're safe from winter weather, but flooding is possible. Georgia. Atlanta, mostly rain, but northern suburbs could see brief snow mixing in. North Georgia mountains, ice accumulation 1/4 to half inch in elevations above 1,500 feet. Savannah, all rain. Alabama, northern Alabama, including Huntsville and Birmingham, ice accumulation 1/4 to half inch. Southern Alabama, including Mobile and Montgomery, mostly rain with temperatures in the 30s to 40s. Connecticut, Hartford and New Haven, 20 to 24 inches of snow Sunday night into Monday. This will be your biggest storm in years. Coastal Connecticut, 18 to 22 inches with strong winds gusting to 50 miles per hour. Rhode Island, Providence, 21 to 25 inches. Blizzard conditions likely Sunday night. Massachusetts, Boston. This is looking like a historic storm. Current forecast, 20 to 26 inches Sunday night into Monday. Wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour along the coast. Blizzard warnings will be in effect. Worcester, 22 to 28 inches. Cape Cod, 16 to 20 inches with coastal flooding a major concern. Springfield, 18 to 22 inches. Vermont. Burlington, 12 to 18 inches Sunday into Monday. Southern Vermont, 16 to 20 inches. New Hampshire. Manchester and Concord, 20 to 24 inches. White Mountains could see 30 inches in highest elevations. Portsmouth, 18 to 22 inches. Maine, Portland, 16 to 22 inches Monday. Bangor, 12 to 18 inches. Northern Maine, 8 to 14 inches. Now here's what you are not hearing from other weather forecasters. After this storm passes, we are not going back to normal winter weather. The jet stream pattern that is causing this storm is going to lock in place. That means we are looking at below average temperatures for at least 2 weeks after this storm, and it means there are already signals for another potential winter storm next weekend affecting the same areas. Let me show you the temperature forecast for the week after this storm. Dallas, high of 28 degrees, low of 12. Memphis, high of 24, low of 8. Nashville, high of 26, low of 10. These are daytime highs that get above freezing. That means all this ice and snow that's falling, it's not going to melt, it's going to stick around. And here's the nightmare scenario that emergency management officials are preparing for. If we get that 1 inch of ice in parts of Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Louisiana, and temperatures stay below freezing for a week, and hundreds of thousands of people are without power, we could see a humanitarian crisis that rivals major hurricanes. I'm not trying to scare you. I am trying to prepare you. Because hope is not a strategy. Thinking it won't be that bad is not a strategy. Waiting until tomorrow to prepare is not a strategy. Here's what you need to do in the next 6 hours. First, if you are in the ice zone, fill every container you have with water. When power goes out, water pumps dawn to work. Fill your bathtub. Fill pitchers. Fill pots and pans. You need 1 gallon of water per person per day. For a family of 4 preparing for 5 days without power, that is 20 gallons of water. Second, charge every electronic device you own. Phones, tablets, laptops, portable batteries. When the power goes out, these will be your lifeline to the outside world. Third, if you have a fireplace or wood stove, stock up on firewood now. Not tomorrow, now. Because by tomorrow, every hardware store will be sold out. Fourth, fill your car with gas. If you need to evacuate or if you need to run your car for heat, you don't want to be looking for gas during the storm. Fifth, get cash from the ATM. When power is out, credit cards don't work. You need physical cash for emergencies. Sixth, if you take prescription medications, make sure you have at least a 7-day supply. If you running low, call your doctor now and get an emergency refill. Seventh, check on your elderly neighbors. Do they have heat? Do they have food? Do they have a plan if power goes out? The people who die in winter storms aren't usually killed by the storm itself. They die from complications afterward. Hypothermia, carbon monoxide poisoning from running generators indoors, heart attacks from shoveling heavy snow. These deaths are preventable if we look out for each other. Eighth, if you're in the heavy snow zone, make sure you have a snow shovel. And here is a tip most people don't know: shovel early and shovel often. Don't wait for the storm to end. If you're getting 18 inches of snow, go out every 3 hours and shovel 3 inches at a time. It's way easier than trying to move 18 inches of heavy wet snow all at once. Ninth, bring your pets inside. This sounds obvious, but every winter storm, animal shelters get flooded with pets that were left outside and suffered from frostbite or hypothermia. 10th, take photos of your property before the storm hits. If you have damage from ice or snow, these photos will help with insurance claims. Now, I promised you I'd tell you which areas are going to be hit hardest. Based on the latest models, here are the 5 zones of greatest concern. Zone 1, the ice corridor from northeast Texas through Arkansas, northern Louisiana, northern Mississippi, western Tennessee. This is where we'll see the most devastating ice accumulation and the longest power outages. Zone 2, the heavy snow belt from southern Indiana through central Kentucky to southern Ohio. This is where snow totals will be highest and where we'll see the most roof collapses. Zone 3, the transition zone through central Tennessee, northern Alabama, northern Georgia, and the Carolinas. This is where forecast uncertainty is highest and where we could see wild variations in snow versus ice over very short distances. Zone 4, the I-95 corridor from Washington, D.C. to Boston. This is where population density is highest, where the most people will be affected, and where the economic impact will be greatest. Zone 5, the extreme cold zone, which is basically everywhere east of the Rocky Mountains. Even areas that don't get much snow or ice will see dangerous, life-threatening cold. Here is something else you need to know. The National Weather Service will be issuing winter storm warnings, ice storm warnings, and blizzard warnings for much of the affected area. What is the difference? A winter storm warning means significant snow or ice is expected. An ice storm warning means dangerous ice accumulation that will cause widespread power outages. A blizzard warning means heavy snow plus winds over 35 miles per hour, creating near zero visibility. If you see a blizzard warning, do not travel. Period. And speaking of travel, let's talk about what's going to happen to flights. Airlines are already canceling flights for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at major hubs: Atlanta, Charlotte, Nashville, Memphis, St. Louis, Chicago, New York, Boston, Washington, D.C. If you have travel planned for this weekend or early next week, assume your flight will be canceled. Don't wait for the airline to notify you. Call them now and rebook for later in the week. The economic impact of this storm is going to be massive. We are already talking about billions of dollars in lost productivity, storm damage, emergency response costs, and infrastructure repair. But more importantly, we are talking about human suffering. People trapped in their homes without power, people running out of medication, people whose homes are damaged by ice and snow, people who can get to work and can afford to miss paychecks. This is why I am asking you again, drop a comment with your city and state. Because we rebuilding a community here. When you comment, other people from your area will see it. They'll reply. You will be able to share information, share resources, check on each other. That's how we get through this together. Now let me tell you what's going to happen after this storm. Like I mentioned earlier, the weather pattern isn't going to improve. We relocked into a winter regime that could last through mid-February. That means more storms are likely. The models are already showing another potential winter storm around January 30th or 31st. It's too early to give specific forecasts for that one, but if you rewatching this video, make sure you resubscribed and have notifications turned on because I'll be tracking that system closely. The long-range forecast shows below normal temperatures persisting across the eastern two-thirds of the United States through at least February 15th. That's 3 more weeks of winter that's colder than normal. For areas that get hit hard by this storm, that means a very slow recovery. Here's my final warning. Take this seriously. I know we've all become a little numb to weather forecasts. I know you've heard predictions before that didn't pan out. But this is different. Every major weather model agrees this is going to be a significant, dangerous, historic winter storm. The National Weather Service agrees. State emergency management agencies in 17 states agree. That is why they've declared emergencies before the storm even starts. Don to be the person who waits until the last minute and then can to find bread at the grocery store. Don to be the person who doesn't charge their phone and then can to call for help when they need it. Don to be the person who doesn't check on their elderly neighbor and then finds out too late that they needed help. Be prepared, be smart, be safe, and be kind to each other. Before I go, let me give you a preview of what's coming in my next video. Tomorrow morning, I am going to do a live update at 8 a.m. Eastern Time with the latest model runs and any changes to the forecast. Then tomorrow evening at 6 p.m., I'll do another update focused specifically on the ice storm threat in the south. On Saturday morning, I'll have real-time updates as the storm is happening, showing you radar, showing you snow totals, showing you ice reports, and on Sunday, I'll have special coverage of the nor'easter hitting the East Coast. But here's the thing. All of these updates will be tailored to the comments I get on this video. If I see a lot of people commenting from Memphis, I'll spend extra time on the Memphis forecast. If I see people from Boston asking questions, I'll dive deep into the Boston forecast. Your comments literally shape my coverage. So one more time, comment below with your city and state. Tell me what specific information you need. Are you worried about power outages? Are you worried about travel? Are you worried about your roof collapsing? Tell me your concerns and I'll address them in the next video. And if you found this forecast helpful, do me a favor. Share it with someone who needs to see it. Share it with your parents. Share it with your grandparents. Share it with your coworkers. Share it with your neighbors, because the more people who are prepared, the fewer people will suffer. This is going to be a historic winter storm. It's going to affect over 100 million Americans. It's going to cause billions of dollars in damage. It's going to be talked about for years to come. But if we prepare properly, if we look out for each other, if we take this seriously, we can get through it together. Stay safe out there.